With more people interested in crypto than ever before, the exchange business is booming. After all, we need places to easily buy and sell coins. Today, you're going to meet two companies that are looking to bring innovation to the exchange marketplace. And few issues are closer to the heart of cryptocurrency than privacy. You're going to meet the CEO of a company that is creating the most anonymous messaging service yet. We get to speak with all kinds of interesting people and are thrilled to introduce you to the fascinating projects that are creating the future. So welcome to our sponsored Crypto Spotlight edition of the Bad Crypto Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Who's bad?
Welcome, everybody. This is one of your favorite episodes every week. We do the ICO Spotlight episode, and this is a good one. We got some good stuff here today, Mr. Joel Comp.
Although we have officially renamed ICO Spotlight to Crypto Spotlight because occasionally we have existing projects on as well. So, catch up, Mr. Travis, right?
Yeah, it's basically blockchain highlights of cool companies doing cool stuff. So what are you going to do?
Yeah. So a couple housekeeping items, no bookkeeping, keep your own damn books. Housekeeping items before we move on. First of all, we've probably got just about enough of your suggestions for our Talkin' Tokens episode, but we'd like to with Travis and Joe's. We'd like to solicit a few more of them. So please give us a call on the Bad Crypto Hotline at
Bad Crypto Hotline number is 708-885-9030. And you don't have to be an expert. Just call us up and tell us what your favorite coin is and why you like it and why you think it's going to go Lambo Moon. And, keep it quick. And then that will allow people to go out and do their own due diligence, right? Don't listen to anybody who calls in because they don't know. They may or may not know what they're talking about. That's the whole point of this is get a little bit of information, go, that's some interesting insight. Let me go research that for myself to see if I feel that is a good speculation or investment or a coin or a token, right?
And then during that episode, you guys will be revealing the Talkin' Tokens stinger that we hired out at Fiverr, which Travis thought was horrible. And then we realized there was great comedic value in it.
So a few of them in there.
You're going to want to stick around for that. The other thing is we received a few submissions for somebody to be our Australian correspondent. And if you guys want to audition for that position, we need a 3 to 5 minute clip of you talking tokens. Just pretend that you are the Australian correspondent and send us an audio file of you being Bad Crypto Oz and send it to badcryptopodcast@gmail.com. And we're going to play those on the air and then let you guys choose which your favorite is to be our correspondent, or we'll just pick it, regardless of what you say. But either way, it should be very entertaining.
You're part of the process, kind of like the Democratic vote.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd like to be part of the process, but I'm excited about that because there've been some really good, folks, really smart folks down in Australia that want to be the correspondent, and we'd love to have some really cool person, maybe even more than one, depending on if you guys are talented enough. We have so many listeners in Australia. That is our second largest audience is from Australia, and we're really popular down under, Joel.
Yeah, mate.
Joe.
So don't email us and tell us you want to do it. You have to email us with an audition file. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. You could even use your phone to record it, but send it to us at badcryptopodcast@gmail.com.
Yep. And you can either upload it on Google Drive if it's too big, right? Or you can upload it on Dropbox or any of those and just send us the link. But get us your audio file. I would suggest not doing it on your phone because that audio quality is not going to be superior. We'd prefer if you actually had a decent mic. So if that's something you're interested in doing, we'll get you on the show if you send us a serious audition tape.
Or not serious one. Don't listen to what I say. Just listen to what Travis says because I don't say any words that are worth listening to. But our guests today do say words worth listening to. This is our sponsored episode. Once a week, we have our sponsored crypto spotlight. That means that the interviews you're going to hear today are paid. They have compensated us to be on the show. Now, we don't let just anybody on. We do have a vetting process, and we believe that the projects that are being worked on are adding value in the space. So while we are being compensated, we are not making any endorsements, any recommendations. We never do make any recommendations because we are not financial advisors. And this is purely for entertainment and information purposes only. You decide what to do with your own monies. And so with that said,
Was that GDPR compliant, what you just said?
you know what? GDPR can go GDP on sand. That's what I say about that nonsense. Yeah. Let's do this. It seems like just in the short time we've done this show, Travis, we've seen a number of crypto exchanges pop up and grow rapidly. For example, Binance just came out of nowhere and became a multi-billion-dollar company. KuCoin is another one that you and I have used and like. And right now, we've got a gentleman with us. His name is Nate Flanders, and he is the CEO of Mandala. The website is mandalaex.com, and these guys intend to be like Binance and KuCoin had a love child and blew it up 10x. Welcome to Bad Crypto, Mr. Flanders.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
First question I got to know is how is it living next to The Simpsons?
Hi, Diddley-o, Neighborino.
Okay, why do we need another exchange?
So we want to eliminate the boundaries of entry for a majority of who we see onboarding the crypto space that are starving to trade and invest, and its users with no experience in traditional trading or investing, utilizing any of these platforms or tools. We want to simplify that process and be compliant while doing it.
Yeah, so you and I have had some conversations offline, and you were talking about the most important thing for you guys is to make a better user experience, right? And so you guys are putting all of you guys are putting a lot of focus towards your user interface and making this a better experience for users or when they're onboarding. If you would, maybe talk a little bit about your vision behind that and how you guys plan to attack that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're bringing some new technology to the table with this exchange. And the front end, the user-friendly portion of it is going to have semi-automatic as well as fully automatic tools in place that help with risk management, which is hugely important and hard to understand a lot of times, as well as strategy signals that'll be available in a semi-automatic tool on the trade page, as well as a fully automatic trade assistant, which will be more like an automated trade bot, but rather using unique user data based on their portfolio, their positions in different coins across the entire exchange will determine how it'll trade rather than a traditional bot that would normally compete with each other if you had millions of users using it at the same time.
Mm-hmm. One of my problems with KuCoin is that it doesn't allow for a stop loss, right? Like most traders who are out there, they want to do stop losses on there in case the market tanks a little bit and hits below a certain point. They want to make sure that they get out automatically. Is that something you guys are going to have? Are you guys going to have some additional features similar to that?
Absolutely. So our risk management functionality is actually a tool that'll determine a safe take profit zone as well as a responsible stop loss limits. So it'll generate this off the same user data as well as position data and allow a single click to add that strategy to a position. So it should be really interesting in that sense.
So, when we look at these exchanges, they're still a little complicated for people who aren't familiar with crypto to use. I mean, we've figured them out, trial and error. We've even figured out Ether Delta. So I feel almost pro when it comes to moving crypto around. But, how are you guys going to make it?
And even Switcheo. Switcheo was the new one that was a huge challenge because I had to figure out how to connect that to my Neon wallet because it's a Neo exchange. So definitely some challenges out there when it comes to exchanges.
Yeah, absolutely. The ease of access is a major focus for us. We want users to come in and not have to go through the trial and error and risk their money, their hard-earned money that they want to trade with. We want to enable and empower these people to make smart and confident entries into the market.
You know, the easiest thing so far that I found, Travis, is Robinhood, right? They're the ones that have made the app, and all you can do is Bitcoin and, of course, stocks, but tap, buy, sell, boom. Now, you can't move that Bitcoin from Robinhood elsewhere. All you can do is buy and sell. So are you guys is it going to be that easy?
That's the goal. We want to bring something as simple as Robinhood and Coinbase, but we want to include the full stack functionality of an exchange to allow exactly what you're talking about, moving and day trading, things of those sorts.
So are you talking about full on like apps and whatnot as well, like iOS and Android apps, or is it just a desktop wallet or a desktop exchange? How are you guys approaching that?
Absolutely. We're going to have a full mobile function that'll be just as involved as the desktop, just of course in a condensed version. So we have the mobile app for iOS as well as Android app roadmap between Q4 and Q1 and 2 of 19.
What kind of pairings are you going to have? I know that's one thing I like about KuCoin is the fact that I can trade in Bitcoin, I can trade and exchange coins back to Ethereum, and I can also exchange them back to Neo. So what are the trading pairs that you guys are having set up?
Sure. So we're going to have our native token MDX as a pair where users can utilize the token for an even higher discount than normal, as well as Bitcoin pairs, Ethereum pairs, and there's still some to be determined as of now, but we will have all the major token pairs.
What about Badcoin? You going to pair Badcoin?
Badcoin? Oh, we're bringing Badcoin.
To the moon! Well, okay, so you guys are having a pre-sale right now and then moving into a full-out ICO. The token is MDX. Before we get into the actual sale itself, how does the MDX token work?
Sure. So we've created a pretty in-depth microeconomy within the system. So users can use them for discounted trade fees, as well as we're bringing a social aspect, a whole social media platform to Mandala, where users can curate content, generate followers within the platform. And the token will also be used as a tipping system. So these users, if they share good fundamental analysis, good trade strategies, they have the ability to be tipped in MDX by other users. They also can lock their content they share and sell it at a price they determine in MDX.
Now, that to me seems like you're taking kind of what TradingView has done for the stock market, and they do a little bit of crypto stuff. They have some crypto channels there. They're pulling in the various different social mentions, and they actually have their own platform in there for to build in their community. So I like how you guys are doing that. So, how far along is the technology today? I mean, is it mostly baked, fully baked? When is it ready to roll out? And what does your roadmap look like over these next few months and quarters into to being fully ready to rock and roll?
Travis, you're not supposed to put the technology in the oven and bake it. It's not good for it. It doesn't work.
We're just supposed to have you're supposed to have a white paper and just dreams, right?
Exactly.
Right, yeah. So we have actually a really exciting announcement coming in the next couple of weeks. We are light years ahead of our roadmap, which full launch is scheduled for Q4 of this year. But we may have something much, much sooner, and we'll be able to disclose in the coming weeks for sure. So I'd say we're a cooked chicken here. So
a cooked chicken, those are delicious. I had some chicken for lunch.
I had some eggs. So, which came first, though? You had lunch before me. I don't know. So ICO, then. Let's talk about the raise here and how you guys are going about it. Who can play, what they get, and so forth.
Sure. So we are 2 weeks into our pre-sale right now, which we smashed through our soft cap of 3 million raised the first 7 days, which was really exciting. The pre-sale actually is continuing until May 31st. And then we go into the main sale June 1st, and that lasts for 6 weeks or until sellout.
That is exciting. You guys are moving along nicely on this. So tell us about the team. What makes you guys, the team to be able to make this happen? There's a lot of teams out there who've tried to do exchanges. What sets you guys apart to be able to create one that's even more badass than the others?
Yeah. Why are you guys so awesome?
What's up about you, huh?
So, of course, it's always hire smarter, right? So our team, my partner and I, we built an incredible team of experts in the marketing field, the growth hack portion, we've partnered with some of the best developers in this space for exchanges in particular. Because of our compliance route, we strategically onboarded advisors that are very well connected into the institutional financial markets, including a former VP of Goldman Sachs, a former managing director of the York Group, as well as the gentleman who actually wrote the white papers and was on the engineering team for the developing the actual New York Stock Exchange trade engine. Pretty wild.
That's awesome.
The website's mandalaex.com, or you could say mandalaex.com. And there's a lot of content here. You guys can see the whole entire team, their roadmap, download the white paper, learn how to participate in the crowd sale. I like pretty pictures and charts, and you guys have a comparison chart here that shows the key metrics that you would want to know when you're going to use an exchange of Mandala versus the other popular exchanges, Bittrex, Binance, KuCoin, Bitfinex, TD Ameritrade, and Robinhood. And it looks like you would be closest to Binance and KuCoin, right? According to this chart.
Correct.
But with added, looks like one-click risk management is a difference. iOS and Android apps that neither Binance nor KuCoin have. Tutorials, which in web support, and I think tutorials are super important. You've got to onboard people, otherwise they just get confused and go, screw this.
Absolutely. And what's going to be cool about the tutorial system is they're going to be interactive. So it kind of falls back to that single click position, adding to any position. So these tutorials not only will be showing them, but it will also generate data based on their entry or the entry they want to make, and they can single click and pull it into their position.
Now, I know right now you don't have a fiat gateway, and you know what? Neither do a lot of the other big exchanges. Now, Robinhood does. It allows you to connect right to your bank and pull money in and buy Bitcoin. Is that something that's going to be on your roadmap down the road? Because that,
absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Because that's what's going to help masses get involved, is the ability just to connect and go.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's unique for us is the compliance route we're taking. So we are actually in line to be one of the first, if not the first, exchange and token combination to be fully compliant with the SEC in the US. With the fiat onboarding, it's about a 12-month process, but it is absolutely roadmapped and it is in the works.
How did you guys get that SEC compliance? Like, what process did you have to go through to get to that? Because, with the regulation stuff going on here and the uncertainty around that, how did you guys ensure that you guys got your stuff all locked down?
Yeah, so we onboarded an incredible legal team with a lot of securities law experience, and they were able to fast track us into what's called a registration A+. So with the registration A+, we'll acquire a broker-dealer, an ATS or an alternate trade system license, as well as our state-by-state MTLs, which are money transmitter licenses.
So, people in the know, they just call that reggae, man. It's reggae.
Yeah.
That's right, man. Yeah. We be loving the reggae.
Yeah. So that process, it is actually a pretty drawn-out process. It can take anywhere from 6 to 9 months, and we're pretty far ahead in that sense. But we wanted to come to market sooner, so our legal team found a way that we could. We formed 2 offshore entities, and we're now covering those entities under what's called a registration S for our crowd sale. So that allows us to raise capital internationally to retail investors and up, but we have to exempt the U.S. and a few other countries from participating. But once the Reg A Plus is in place, that registration S allows us to repatriate the capital we raised in our crowd sale, as well as allow flow back of our security tokens that we sold internationally into the U.S. without any retroactive.
Let it flow. I'm looking at the screens of the prototype on your main website, and you've got the web-based exchange, and you've got the mobile. And there's a guy in the upper right corner. This is his account we're looking at. He's got over 25 Bitcoin, and so I want to be that guy right there. Can I be him, please?
He's just bragging about it now. Quite frankly, it was 25 Bitcoin.
I know. He's like, look at me. I got 25.33 Bitcoin. Hey, this is great stuff, Nate. Before we close out, where are you building your community that you would like people to engage with you?
Sure. So we have a pretty rapid growing community on Telegram, and that's where we kind of have an open line of communication, not only with myself and my partner, but also a full team of community leaders that have just been crushing it. And it's really active right now. So
I just clicked and joined it. I wanted to beat Mr. Travis Wright to the punch, so I am member number.
Oh, just barely.
Yep.
Dirty.
I'm 6,827 there. So always good to see a community happening before an ICO. Nate, anything else you want to share with us before we sign off?
Oh man, it's such a big project. We really can't wait to release it so everybody can really conceptualize what's going on here. I think it's going to impress a lot of people, with all these moving parts. So this call would take 3 hours, just to go through everything, but we're moving
Well, it's
quickly.
great. We can continue the call a little bit longer if you like. Hey, I just want to let you know, Mr. Joel Com, I was already a member of the Telegram because I'm a fan of this. I tell you what, we've talked to a lot of ICOs over the course of our 10, almost 11 months now that we're going on 11 months. And this one right here, we've seen what Binance has done. We've seen what KuCoin is doing. And if you're able to build a better user experience and include even more features than what they have, that to me seems like you guys have a rock star project potentially, at least on the surface. But that is not a recommendation. That's just an observation from Mr. Travis Wright going,
Well, not only that, Travis, but this morning we interviewed our friend Ronnie Moas. You guys will be hearing from him again soon, and on a future episode. And something he mentioned is that making crypto easy to use. It's that Netscape watershed moment. We need an exchange that's so simple that people don't have to jump through hoops to get in on it. So maybe you guys are the right step in that direction.
Absolutely. We're on the right track. There was one piece, though, that is actually a massive part of the project that we're bringing a hardware wallet that's exclusive to Mandala Exchange. So this is going to add an additional layer of security. We're keying the 3FA. Users will be able to store their private keys on their hardware wallet that we're bringing, as well as trading real time from their hardware wallet to Mandala directly, utilizing an escrow pool that we're going to put in place that will sign transactions between the exchange and the hardware wallet itself. It's pretty awesome.
It seems to me like this is the whole, if you're able to implement all of this, all your timeline goes, you're building your own wallet, 3FA, the success factor is basically the Mandala effect, I guess.
Right.
A little different than the Mandela.
Excellent. The website, mandalaex.com. Nate Flanders, CEO. Good luck with your project. We'll look forward to seeing what happens.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. This was awesome.
There's been a lot of talk about the Telegram app in its billion-dollar raise or whatever they ended up doing for their ICO.
I think it was 17 quadrillion.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, in the future, that'll just seem like a little bit because one day we're going to be like Zimbabwe and we're just going to use $100 trillion bills.
Oh, man. I'm so excited.
But they are not the only playa in the game. And Chris Boundikas is the CEO of Ravn. There's no E in Ravn because, in 2018, we don't need vowels, RAVN, and it's RAVN app.com, and they claim to be the world's first and only invisible, encrypted, and truly anonymous chat app infused with the power of blockchain. Welcome to Bad Crypto, Chris.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Did I pronounce your name right? I really want to know if I nailed it.
Yeah, it was great. Most people carve it.
Chris.
Chris is a really hard name, Joel.
It is. Well, it depends if it's spelled, KRIS or CHRIS. Because it's very subtle, but it's Chris or it's Chris. So there's that. So how does what you guys are doing compare to the WhatsApp and Telegrams of the world, and why are you Mo Beta?
Well, first off, we have built an app based around every other app out there, but we've also coupled it with the invisibility aspect and the anonymity. There is a huge, for the last year or so, it's been about a year and a half in progress, but in the last year or so, we've had all these data breaches, and it's fitting into our app nicely because we are a fully 100% anonymous app. You know, a lot of apps out there tend to say they are. We are 100% anonymous. So we do have some, you know, functionality that WhatsApp has, that Telegram has, that Signal has. We have all that, you know, Snapchat. We are infusing all that in, but you know, within the crypto community, we're missing the main ingredient, which is anonymity and invisibility. With the feds hounding us at the borders now, you know, our product is ripe for our community and beyond.
Now, one of the things that really strike me is that this is actually a cloaked app. Like, you have to click on a weather app looking thing to open up your Messenger app, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's our invisibility part. So you really, I'm talking Android now. iOS has, you know, a couple issues with Apple. They have made us do the icons to be strictly crypto-related decoy apps. But Android, which is 87% of the world's users, we are full-blown invisible. You could not, for 100 years, figure out where we are in an Android phone. If somebody has 30 apps on their phone, even if you went through every one of them, you would just have no clue where we're hiding. So once you select your decoy app, whether it's a weather app, whether it's another cryptocurrency advertising on that app, you click in and it's functional as a real app. So you can go through news, you can go through pictures, but with a secret touch, you can get in to your PIN screen and the whole screen just flips. You put your PIN code in or your fingerprint, and voila, you're right into the chat functionality of Ravn. On any notification, you get one little red bar on the app, not 32. If you've missed 32, you know, chats, it's just one. Just so it doesn't, you know, set off alarm bells while your phone is dinging. You only get one ding to keep it private. So, you know, when Ravn, you know, set out its sights, we were specifically a privacy app. We have turned this thing into a monster encrypted app as well. So we're both private and encrypted.
It's like the Genesis song. You have the invisible touch. Okay, I just dated myself. I see here that you're building this using Stellar smart contracts. Tell me more about that.
So the smart contract functionality within Ravn, so we have the full chat capability, you know, phone calls, videos, the Snap, everything that's already there. What we're doing our race for is the full ecosystem capability of Ravn Pay. Ravn Pay is going to be infused into Ravn Bet, Ravn Lotto, Ravn Tip. That's obviously just the tip of the iceberg of what we're in talks with 28 Vegas casinos right now that might want to infuse our tech within it. I mean, it's fitting that our motto is whatever happens in Ravn stays in Ravn. So they're kind of gravitating towards us, but the ecosystem is built on the Stellar blockchain. We set out on the Ethereum blockchain, but we need a very stable, low cost, highly scalable chain, and Stellar was there for us. They helped us out, and we are fully functional in the Stellar block.
Now, when I look at this, you know, I see there's some other companies that have been trying to do stuff, not just Telegram, but Kik has their Kin token, right? That they're also building on the Stellar platform. Now, that seems more of a mainstream one, whereas you guys are going to, you know, I love the fully encrypted, fully private, and stealth. This is a stealth model, which I think, as you know, social media has become more, you know, it's censoring content and it's eliminating dissenting points of views, right? There's some really interesting things that are happening on social media. So this is cool to be able to say, hey, we're not going to take any of your data and we're going to build a platform. So how far along is your technology right now? And maybe if you could explain the difference between Ravn, the technology and the app, and then Corax. What are both of those?
Okay, so Ravn is the platform. So Ravn is the chat capability in the ecosystem. The coin itself is called Corax. Corax in Spanish is baby raven. And
oh, the little baby ravens. They're so cute, the Korak.
well, here's a kind of a cool story. So in January, when we set out to name our coin Raven Coin, Bruce Fenton, good guy, he launched his project Raven Coin. We're looking at each other in the Raven lab here saying, we now have an issue. We can't call our project what we wanted to call it for the last 2 years. So we literally missed it by 2 weeks. So we went the Spanish route, since our app is being developed in the Latin American world, and we called it Corax. So that's, if there's any confusion there, our Corax coin is powering the Raven platform.
I'm more likely to get confused with Clorox and think it's some sort of cleanser. But the website you guys need to look at is IC.
Oh, it's Corax is coming to cleanse the system.
Oh, snap. Look
at
that. He just fed right off of that. Well done, my friend. It's ico.ravenapp.com. And again, drop the E because, in this day and age, we don't need vowels.
That's true. I look at the URL, Joel, and I see I crave nap.
I crave a nap. Now, you don't have a white paper here, Chris, with a CH. You have a dark paper. Explain that.
Listen, guys, we're different. There's no doubt about it. We're not the average ICO project here. We're going for a $57 million hard cap. We're closing out our private placement right now at $4 million. The app is for the crypto community. We're an open community, but we're also like that red-headed stepchild right now that can't talk openly until the big boys approve of us. We're going against everything here. We're betting. We're all in. We're going fully anonymous, fully encrypted, and invisible. So it's a dark paper. We're no longer the white horse here. We're a dark paper, and we want to differentiate ourselves in the marketplace right now.
Where are you guys located at in the world?
He can't tell you that.
I mean, are you located in America or in a different country outside of America?
No, I reside in the middle of the Caribbean in a beautiful country called Anguilla, which we'll get to their newly legislated, regulated ICO laws they just passed a couple weeks ago. I reside here on a beach in beautiful Anguilla. My partners...
That sounds so challenging. I feel for you,
to be you.
My partners are in the Dominican Republic, so that's where the FJ Labs, Fabrice Grinda are one of our executive advisors. We do out of his lab in Altozana, out of the Dominican Republic. So that's kind of where we are headed. Ultimately, we're headed in the cloud. We're not really. We don't really have a home base once this thing gets moving. So yeah, that's where we are.
So you guys are doing a token sale then around this, and let's talk a little bit about who can participate and how they participate and all the participation things that I have failed to ask.
Yes, June 7th in a couple weeks is the pre-ICO. It's open to anybody. We are old school crypto. I come from the first week of Bitcoin trading and learning about this. So I'm not changing my tune. We're not answering to anybody but the crypto community. So it's open to anybody. There are no limits. If this is an egalitarian movement, we're here for the little guy, and we're going to continue marching that way until we are not able to. So it's open to everybody. Everybody's welcome. We're an open platform here for the little guy to make some dollars. I want to get into how frustrated I am with the Telegram raise, and I'm not bashing Telegram or WhatsApp.
Let it out. Let it all out. This is a safe place. Go ahead.
We're totally anonymous. We're totally anonymous.
I'm in the dark.
I'm not here to I don't bash any other projects. We love this community, but when you have a closed event, that you raise for 94 ultra wealthy investors at $10 million each for $1.7 billion. How the hell is that helping this movement?
It's helping them. It's helping the company, right? It's not, and none of the non-accredited investors got to be participate in any of that, right? So not the little guys. They're edging out the little guys, it seems like, with all these regulations, and that's why I asked the question about where you guys are located, because it seems to me a lot of the coolest and most innovative blockchain projects are taking place outside of America at this point, and I don't think they realize the impact that's having by them being the way they are. And so let's ask about this. So you said your apps, the functionalities are going to be available sometime in June. Is that correct?
Yep. It's we are dotting our I's and crossing our T's right now. The Android is 99.99%. Obviously, every app always has bugs, but we are fairly confident the Android side is ready to deploy the day of the ICO, June 7th, which is the pre-ICO, and then Apple will be ready to go as well. Just a little bit different functionality on the app side. Not totally different. It's just Apple they're in the matrix. They're limiting us to the cloaking capability, but we're still there. It's not, but it's no.
Well, I can tell you this. I have an app on my iPhone it looks like a calculator, and I type in a calculator code, and then boom, it opens it up, and it's a place where you can store all your dirty pictures that you find on Reddit. I don't know that to be true. I mean, I just heard about that.
Your wife,
I don't do that.
Your wife doesn't listen to these podcasts, eh?
She does not. Nice. Yeah. So that's the thought is I know that it's available, that they can have that sort of cloaking functionality. So maybe they're just being dicks.
No, we've been on Apple. It's just now that we have more users and we have, some attention in the ICO and crypto world, it has, we're no longer just a little tiny app on their platform. They want to know exactly what we're doing, and they've given us approval, and we're following their rules. But again, that's only 13% of users. We're ready to go on the Android side, and we're good to go.
Right. Well, I would say this, Mr. Joel Kahn, this is one of the more interesting ICOs that we've had in a while, because you're doing so many different encrypted things. Instead of cutting this right now, let's talk real quick maybe about the team. I know that our audience would love to know a little bit about your team and how you said you've been working on this for 2 years. Tell us about your team, if you could, kind of briefly, and how you guys are positioned to be able to dominate on this.
Yeah, no problem. The team is gaining strength on a daily basis now that we're getting out. We just had Inc. do an article on us, Hacker Noon, BuzzFeed. It's all coming at once. But, I had the team. I come from the Wall Street background of proprietary trading, worked on a Wall Street firm. We were in the show Wall Street Warriors back in 07, 08. So I come from the trading world. I've traded Bitcoin and crypto since inception, and just recently just have gotten vocal about it. Fabrice Grinda has been a part of our project since inception as well. He's an executive advisor. Fabrice has been a part of hundreds of startups in the community. Most notably some bigger projects. I don't want to bore you with that. Wikipedia, Fabrice Grinda. You can get him, his LinkedIn link on our site. He's an icon. He's huge. David Vaz is in the background here, connecting the dots with our global wallet. We're in talks with a MasterCard card within our wallet to infuse it. He's opening up a ton of doors in the casino world in Vegas and a whole different level. Gordon and Vlad conceptualized this idea a couple years back. So they did all the heavy lifting in the last year and a half, got the beta together. They tested it with 20,000 users from Russia, India, and Latin America, most predominantly in Dominican Republic. Came back with raving reviews. Everybody loved it. And that kind of born the idea that, hey, we need to take this a little further. I got involved in December on the blockchain implementation side. Matt, owner of CEO of Settlement and Data Broker, they just finished a very successful ICO. Jason and Peter work together. They're launching Portion.io, an awesome project that should be on this show. They're a blockchain advisor. Jason's been in this game since the beginning. He was mining Litecoin at 3 cents. O'Neill is our Latin American advisor. He's a powerhouse through Altrazana Labs. He speaks at conferences. He's if you're in the Dominican Republic in the tech scene, O'Neill. And then we got some more advisors,
Right.
Dave, Jared. Jared's our PR market.
I'm curious about the security stuff. Actually, if you could, I know you guys got your advisors. They look pretty awesome. But how are you guys able to lock this down and be as encrypted and secure? Where is that expertise coming from?
That is coming from a whole team of developers. We've got a whole bunch of guys on board. We have a former CIA agent that obviously doesn't want to be on the board here. So we've got some good guys in the background, and once we get moving, we will move to open source. But right now, we do have a technology through the invisibility side that we don't want anybody ripping off before we get through our ICO phase. But we will open this up open source sooner or later.
Understandable.
Well, that's good because you might have scared people away with the FBI CIA thing.
No,
The token is Corex, KRX. One Corex is a nickel. So that and a nickel will get you a Corex, ico.ravenapp.com. And where's the best community for people to find out what you guys are all about and to engage with the team?
We're just building that up right now. So we've got our Telegram group, which is bizarre because it's our competitor. But, the functionality within Raven, we got super group chats. We hope that the community embraces this, helps us develop it, and takes that community that's chatting in all these Telegram groups and moves it over into this anonymous app. I don't know anybody that wants their phone number attached to their name right now, open to the public, even with their pseudonyms. It's highly trackable. So again, with our app, it's totally anonymous. We don't ask for anything, nothing, no name, no email, no phone number. You just put your ID handle in and you start chatting immediately. We don't save anything on a server. It's truncated immediately. And some have argued that even if it was hacked, you're anonymous. Nobody knows who this is coming from.
Fantastic. Well, best of luck with the project, and we will watch this unfold, Mr. Chris.
Guys, I appreciate it. Amazing show. Hopefully I'll be back on in a month or so to tell you about the exciting news out of Anguilla and their fresh laws. They've just regulated ICOs, and I'll tell you about that in about a month on right here again.
The Bad Crypto Podcast.
Turn the Wayback Machine back to episode number 63 of Bad Crypto, Travis, and you'll recall that we had Warren Wang, from Chinese investors, ChineseFN.com on the show.
I do recall. That was a great episode. There's a lot of really interesting stuff going on. I think we interviewed Warren shortly thereafter, after China had banned ICOs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's time to catch up and meet one of his cohorts and discuss a new crypto exchange that they're going to be launching for non-U.S. regions on the 4th of July, which I think is funny because, the 4th of July is our Independence Day, but it's the only place that you won't be able to access ICO168.io. And with us, we have once again Warren Wang and Don Myers. Gentlemen, welcome to Bad Crypto.
Hi, Joe and Travis.
Hello. Thank you very much.
Great to have you guys here again. Before we jump into the exchange, maybe you can give us, Warren, a quick update on what's happening on the other side of the world in cryptos in Asia.
Sure. I think China banned ICO on September 4th in 2017, and the U.S. regulatory is getting more compliance, more regulations on the ICO too. So we saw the ICO from last year, 20,000 all the way dropped to 6,400, and then right now trading around like 8,000. And we see a lot of limited ICO happening in the United States. So we think as a Chinese investors, we believe we saw other great news is there's two sectors really making money. One is the exchange. Binance, they just been 7 months, but they already been profitability. Their profitability is more than on the top of 99.5% all the Chinese public trading company in China, and they beat Deutsche Bank the profitability on the first quarter. They only have 200 employees, but Deutsche Bank have 100,000 employees. They've been over 100 years. So that's very profitable sectors. Other one you can see Consensus. They have over 10,000 people purchase ticket, average 2,000 per, and they generate $200 million in 3 days just by ticket selling. So that's kind of business we want as a public trading company, CRX, want to enter into. So we are going to launch the new ICO168.io in St. Vincent, and we are ready to go.
Now, I have a question around that. So, for one, congratulations on the success you guys have been having over there. What is ICO 168, and what does that number mean? I assume it's like a good luck number or something in Chinese?
Yeah, 168 always means in Chinese it's all the way to the fortune. What it stands for is I think the new coins can be all the way to the fortune for the new digital world. So it's a lucky number. It's God blessings things in Chinese language.
Very nice. So what is ICO 168? Are you creating a new exchange for Chinese-speaking people who are living in America, or is this a worldwide exchange? What exactly is going on with ICO 168?
I think we will just tailor to non-U.S., non-Canadian investors and non-Chinese investor in mainland China, which because 3 countries is basically banning the people trade cryptocurrency. So we targeting overseas Chinese, for example, Singapore, Australia, maybe Europe, for all the Chinese around the world now, overseas Chinese who like to trade cryptocurrency, who love to get education, because all secret source is more focused on education, invest tools, and platform. So put everybody into the trading platform with the knowledge, with the experience, with the information speed, with the platform altogether, not just give them platform, let them trading, because we want to give people more education, make their trading life longer. That's our goals.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's interesting, this business, since ICOs have slowed, it's a picks and shovels business, and people are always going to need exchanges. Now, we see some of these exchanges having their own coin, their own ICO, like Binance and KuCoin. Are you guys doing something similar, having an ICO around ICO 168?
Not yet. Maybe down the road in the future. But I think definitely in the United States, we will issue security token instead of ICO. So it can be a STO then ICO. I think you guys are very knowledgeable on the ICO world. So we will issue the regulation D down the road to accredit investor private sales instead of ICO cross sales in the United States. But we might issue the Reg S to non-U.S. territory, but it's still, we don't there's no official news yet for this cross sales.
All right, now your website, one thing that you're talking about is some different tradable currencies. You're going to be able to have some trading pairs with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Is NEO, which NEO is, the Chinese Ethereum, is that something you guys are going to have as a tradable pair as well down the road?
I think we will consult our tech teams, because if they are ERC20, it might be very easy. and we will. It take a little while to have a Neo wallet, but if the people only want to trade Neo, it can be done in a day. So we possibly after 4th of July we will launch another 20 different currency pair. I would like to let our CEO, platform CEO Donald Meyer answer your guys' question.
So, Don, I'm clicking on the platform features on the website at ICO68.io. A lot of different things going on here. What can you tell us about how this platform and exchange will be different from the ones that those in the crypto world are already using?
Okay, first of all, and it not exactly has to do with the platform, but we have a trading academy which trains and teaches, unprofessional traders. We don't want unprofessional traders going on the platform without at least a little bit of understanding of the crypto world. So, to start off, we do have a trading academy available, and I think that's very important. We're also going to have a 24-hour multilingual help desk. Now, most exchanges do have 24-hour 7, help desks, but ours is going to be multilingual. Not only Chinese, but all the other languages out there, which I think is important too and caters to the, offshore community.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of people, like in any type of investing, when they see opportunity, they get involved without really knowing what they're doing. And that's why, we encourage people to do their own research and to understand that this is not investing is about increasing your, your bank account to some degree, but this is about technology we're talking about here. And I appreciate that you're going to put people through a little bit of a tutorial so they understand before they invest.
No, absolutely. You make a good point, and I think we're kind of addressing that straight away.
That's great. So how far along are you with your technology? Because a lot of folks will talk about how great their project is going to be. How far along are you guys with your technology today, and how soon are you guys ready for a full rollout of the technology? Because I think that's what a lot of people really care about. Where are you now, and where are you going to be shortly?
So we're pretty close. As Warren said earlier, that we're going to launch on July 4th, which is ironic, being Independence Day. Basically, we're almost there. We have a couple glitches that we need to fix, on the front end, but the back end's pretty much done, and we're kind of excited about that because the front end, we just have to change some things and customize it the way we want it to look. Like I said, the back end is pretty much done. Would you agree, Warren?
Yes. I think we have a 3 to 5 years plan. Make sure our shareholder, our company employee can launch profitability business. Well, I don't know. I'm not too sure. Drew and Travis, look at all the ICO, all the cryptocurrency world. What do you think the most valuable player in this whole sector? I think the media and exchange is the most valuable or most profitable sector right now, because a lot of other things is need to burn the money, but the exchange, they bring the cash flow, bring a lot of information for the investor. So if I'm an investor for the cryptocurrency world, I might first start looking the Binance, looking the KuCoin, looking the HT, looking for the OKEX, look their valuation compared to the revenue and profitability. They are way undervalued. So that's why from Binance world, I think they only have a 1.5 billion the revenue. I mean the valuation on the whole company or whole foundation. But their profitability is almost $14 million. $1.4 billion for a year. So I think there's a lot of value or upside for this sector. That's why we want to be involved, because we already been 20 years, and I think we have over 100,000 registered users. So I think we can be to grab some market share from this space. I don't know if you guys agree or not.
Question about launching. We will be ready for July 4th. The back end is done. We're doing some customizing on the front end.
Now, is the exchange owned by ChineseInvestors.com Inc.?
Yes, but just for this disclaimer issue, we only launch for non-U.S. territory. We don't targeting U.S. investor because we believe, like SEC chairman said, all the tokens except Bitcoin, rest of most for the chairman's eyes is more like securities. So we don't want to trade a security with no license. So that's why we want only trade a non-U.S. Tailored to non-U.S. investors only. We are ready to go. We glad to bring Donald here, and maybe Donald can explain, tell people his resume, what he experienced before, so give an investor more confidence into this platform.
Well, the reason I ask is because for U.S. investors, they can't use the exchange. But if the exchange is owned by ChineseInvestors.com, that's a publicly traded company, right, on the OTC exchanges, the symbol CIIX. Is that right?
Yes. So I think if the company can be really profitable, I think that our shares can have a potential goes up. That's why we are so anxious to launch the platform, and we are so glad to bring Mr. Meyer, almost been 20 years in the industry, so he can leading the team to make sure our investor can be profitable.
I'm curious about the rest of the team that you guys have, because that's one of the things that our folks like to know as well. Like, how robust is your team? Who all do you have working on this thing? Because, exchanges are a very important part of the process, not just because they're profitable, but because people put a lot of faith into them and their security. And so maybe talk about your team and how you guys are going to ensure that your new platform is super secure, because that's what most people are concerned about, I think, when talking about with exchanges.
Okay, so this is Don again. I come from over 20 years of trading and sales experience in the currency markets, which with the volatility and the 24-hour trading kind of lends its hand to being a little similar to the crypto markets. So with my background, I went and we're in the process of hiring some other salespeople with that same type of experience. We have a CTO as well, and we have some people in the back end that are developers that come from the currency side as well, whether it be retail currency or the institutional side.
Well, I do think there's a little bit of a difference there from the currency side to the cryptocurrency and the levels of security that are needed. That's great. You got some salespeople coming on, but what about the security side of things?
I think we will put everything on the cold storage. I think we have a 3 years plan, and I think when we getting started, we will definitely put in the cold storage, and then we will expand our tech teams after we raising the money from the investor base within 6 to 12 months. That's our plan. That's why we might issue that security token down the road in U.S. and non-U.S. territory. So we definitely will put a lot of allocation to the tech parts.
All right. Well, the website ICO168.io, Warren and Don, good luck with this new project.
Oh, thank you very much. We appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you. Remember symbol CIIX. Thank you.
There's some exciting stuff in there, Travis. I especially personally really dig this idea of a completely anonymous messaging app.
Not bad at all. And then we also had a couple of awesome exchanges. And, listening to the Mandala project, that was pretty interesting on how they're going to create their own hard wallet, right? They're having 3-factor authentication and doing some other stuff. So they can drop that stuff out there. That could be an interesting play. A lot of good companies on today's show.
Crypto's going up, crypto's going down. Our next episode is the Bad News Show. Watch for it. And please take a moment to subscribe. Don't forget to share your funny 5-star reviews wherever you do review. We'll be reading some of those on the Bad News episode. And we'll also be selecting our winner for 2 tickets to World Crypticon taking place at the Aria Hotel in Las Vegas, October 31st through November 2nd. If you want to win, you have to sign up for our newsletter, which may or may not be GDPR compliant, badco.in/WCC.
Oh, and if you guys also could take time to stay bad.
Take a lot of time to stay bad.
Like as much time as you need to stay bad.
Who's bad?
The Bad Crypto Podcast is a production of Bad Crypto LLC. The content of the show, the videos, and the website is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. You shouldn't make any decisions as to finances, investing, trading, or anything else based on this information without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional financial advisor. Please understand that the trading of Bitcoins and alternative cryptocurrencies have potential risks involved. Anyone wishing to invest in any of the currencies or tokens mentioned on this podcast should first seek their own independent professional financial advisor.